Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Samuel FC says in the live comments, 4-0 FC are back. Manchester United have beaten Yeovil 4-0 in the FA Cup. Comfortable win. Not name on the cup, I nearly said. Ooh, presumptuous. Name in the next round of the FA Cup draw. I think we've got a good chance of winning this trophy. I do. There's still some good teams left in it and we're in the next round. Let's see what happens. But Alexis Sanchez on fire. Sensational Sanchez. All the headlines. For the thinking man or woman, Sanchez was fantastic today. And I was already excited about the signing. It was great to see the number 7 shirt back after a year. But Sanchez didn't score, and the people who look at football in a literal sense will say, oh, he gave the ball away, he didn't score, he's a waste of money, this, that and the other. As a Manchester United fan, like many of you, I'm extremely excited about what Alexis Sanchez brings to this team. It was like, he gets the ball and he's direct, but he's not just direct in the way he runs with the ball, he's direct, he was chipping balls forward, it's forward, forward, forward. He never wants to play it backwards or sideways. He's forward thinking, and he's quick thinking. The first half was fantastic. Yes, he misplaced a few passes, but it's just every time he gets the ball, he wants to do something with it. And on top of that, you can see that he oozes top-class, world-class quality off both feet. He's going to be a revelation at Manchester United. But the big thing for me is, it's just what he wants to do when he gets the ball. I think Manchester United's problem in that game, and much over the last few weeks, has been slow ball from front to back, from back to front. Slow, slow, slow. It needs to be quicker into Sanchez, and then when he gets it, he's quick into the box. He was chipping balls into Rashford. Brilliant performance from Sanchez. Quite a rusty performance. It can only get better, but it's just what he brings to the team, that direct play. So really, really pleased from him. Tough game as well. He was getting clattered all over the place, but what I liked about him, he was demanding the ball. And when he was getting bad tackles and the referee wasn't giving it, he was getting up and chasing back and tackling. I mean, I wouldn't say he's as committed as Tevez was in a United shirt. He was a nutter. But he's not far off. He's got that tenacity. So really, really pleased with Sanchez, and I think it can only get better. And the big excitement for me in relation to Alexis Sanchez is every time he gets the ball, he gets 4 players on him. We must get Martial and Sanchez in the same team, because Martial's been brilliant this year. And it would be, there's no point signing Sanchez if he's going to bench Martial. You've got to get them both in the same team. But how interesting is it going to be when you look at it in that way, that Sanchez gets 4 players around him? Well, we've seen that with Martial every week this season. How do a team deal with Sanchez on one side and Martial on the other? You can't get 3 or 4 players on them, because you've got to be fearful of how quick they'll switch it to the other player who's going to get the space. So that's really, really interesting. But in relation to the game itself, man of the match for me was Alexis Sanchez. It was. I know Marcus said Rojo. I've heard people saying Michael Carrick. Some people said Luke Shaw. Some have even said Herrera. Look, Herrera was bad in the first half, brilliant in the second half. So Sanchez for me was the man of the match because of what he gave us. At times he was head and shoulders on anything on the pitch, which he should be, because he is a fantastic player. So Sanchez was my man of the match. 4-0 to Manchester United. Rashford got a goal, and I still think he's struggling, but the goal gave him some confidence, and he just needs to get back confidence, build back, because he's had a terrible 2 months, Rashford. But so it was good for him to get a goal. Second goal, Herrera on the break. Sanchez 3 against 4, 4 against 3. We don't always kill teams off in that situation, but with Sanchez running at that back 4, you never had any doubt that he was going to find the right pass. Finds it to Herrera, who took it really, really well. Callum Gilmore, we are going to appreciate Angel Gomez. We won't forget that. Absolutely brilliant cameo from him. Third goal, Jesse Lingard. I'd said get Jesse Lingard on for a long time. It's Yeovil Town at the end of the day. They're a League 2 side, and they're going to get relegated to the Vauxhall Conference. Of course, if Lingard gets the ball and he's allowed to turn and run into the box and smash it into the bottom corner with 4 players around him, that's what we expect from Jesse Lingard. He's been doing it in the Premier League, so of course he should do it against Yeovil. 3-0. And then Rojo bombing forward, cross, LUKAKU gets another goal for his United season. 4-0. Lovely job. Lovely job. Not a fantastic performance. Not a fantastic performance. And we'll talk about why that wasn't great. But there's a positive spin to that. But we must talk about Angel Gomez. I was getting very irritated on the watch along as the minutes were going by. Why is Gomez not coming on? Why is not Gomez coming on? Fair play Mourinho. Gets him on the pitch and produces with the first bit of the ball, skins the right back and shoots into the side netting. Exciting player, and we got the little cameo from him. He's going to be a baller, Angel Gomez. I still think Tahith Chong could be better, but when I say better, it doesn't mean Tahith Chong's not going to be top class. Gomez isn't going to be top class. He can be anything he wants to be. So lots and lots of positives. Negatives, well, the big question is, as I said at half time, Does Matteo Darmian get into a Yeovil Town 11? I mean, that's a debate show in itself. He is shocking, isn't he? I mean, the last 2 games we've seen Darmian play has been against Bristol City, Championship side, and Yeovil Town, League 2 side, and he's been beans on toast both games, torn apart. You wonder what happens if you play Darmian in a Premier League game. He needs to be sold. I think we're going to keep him till the summer just because we need some backup in that right back position. But a poor performance from Darmian. I thought Lindelof was poor. And I've got to be honest, I like Lindelof. But I think the problem with Lindelof is that I think he needs a run of games to get his confidence going. He had a run of games in November. Everyone was like, oh, you can see why we spent 30 million on him now. Then he gets dropped for a load of games. Comes back in today and looks a bit rusty and lacking confidence. You can't really criticise Mourinho for that. I think the problem is, I mean, Rojo was fantastic despite not playing games, and I think Lindelof needs to sort that out because you can't just not play for a few games and then lose all your ability. But we've got Jones and Smalling who are playing really well, and unfortunately Lindelof and Rojo are behind them at the moment. It's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because Lindelof struggled because of not playing games. Carrick, I thought, played well despite not playing for a long time, and against Yeovil you'd expect a player of his quality to be able to run the midfield. Herrera, not a great first half, but better in the second half. Luke Shaw, again, didn't do himself any harm. Another good performance from him. Rashford, good bits and bad bits, but the goal, and I think he's in such a pit of sort of not playing well that to see him climbing out of it is really good. I thought Mata played well. McTominay, I'm going to say this. It was a 6 out of 10 performance from McTominay. It wasn't terrible and it wasn't great. But I don't know what people think about McTominay. I don't want to dwell on this because there's so many positives. But all I would say is what I said in the watch along. I don't see what his attribute is. I don't see what's going to make him be a championship player for somebody like Reading or be a Manchester United player. And I know Mourinho's championing him as the youth player for this year that he wants to develop over Twansibi. He's picked McTominay over Twansibi many times. But what I don't get about McTominay is, I'm not saying he's a terrible footballer, I just don't see what his attribute is. He's not particularly good in the air. His passing's okay, but there's nothing incisive about his passing. He's not particularly quick. His tackling's okay. There's just... And obviously, hopefully he will develop. He's only just turned 21. But even a 21-year-old, I've seen a lot of young players at United, there's something about their game. Like Beckham had the ability in the passing. Scholes, little tenacious player, could finish and you know, movement and you know, positional sense in the final third. Nicky Butt, great tackler. Gary Neville, great on the overlap and read the game really well. Giggs obviously had the skill. But even players like a Darren Fletcher, you could see what those attributes were. But in relation to McTominay, I don't really see what his thing is. But I need a drink of water. We'll see. Mourinho obviously rates him, but I don't really see what his thing is. So maybe we'll see it in time. But no, very happy to be in the next round of the FA Cup draw. I thought the performance, as Kian MC says, seeing Gomez was fantastic. Abdi says, where was Martial today? Well, where was Pogba? Where was Valencia? Where was De Gea? They were all rested, and I don't have a massive problem with that. I think we will look, as I said on the watch along as well. What we need to do is just calm ourselves down and close the door on the likes of all the people who are going to hate us, all the people who are going to moan, all the people who are going to say, oh, you know, Sanchez, what a waste of money. We're Manchester United. You close the door on all that lot and you focus on yourselves. And today, we won 4-0. We won 4-0. Yeovil did exactly what you would expect. First half, they were pumped. They were up for it. And they gave it a good go. Second half, they ran out of steam and the quality players came on and we comfortably beat them. So I've got no real issues in relation to what Manchester United did today. Yes, there were aspects of the game that weren't great, but what I did see with Alexis Sanchez was the ability to change a game, to focus on what's important, which is getting the ball from back to front. When he gets the ball, moving it forward, progressing, and he's going to bring a lot to Manchester United, a hell of a lot. So really, really pleased with it. And you know what? It's all about Spurs on Wednesday, isn't it? We need to win that game. Big Guns were rested, says Yadman TV. Bit harsh, but Alexi has to play on the left and play Martial on the right, says Kieran Byrne. I think Martial, I think Rashford, I think Martial can play on the right, and I think Alexis Sanchez can play on the right as well. The reality is you've just got to get both players in the game. That's what you've got to do. You've got to get both players into the game. There cannot be a situation where Martial's on the bench. That would be ridiculous. Jordan Burbeck says, good game all round. Sanchez, good debut. Lingard looks good. England's best midfielder. Wilshere, who? I wouldn't judge any of our players on playing well against Yeovil Town, to be honest. It's what they do against... It's what Lingard does against Spurs on Wednesday that matters. It's at Wembley, so Messi Lingard should get a couple of goals. He's great at Wembley. So, but that's where you judge our players. Yeovil Town, I would expect that from Lingard. I would expect a good performance from Alexis Sanchez. I think some players let themselves down today because they should be doing better against that sort of opportunity. My man of the match, Blink Graphics, was Alexis Sanchez. I think I've got a bit of hair in my mouth. Sanchez and Pogba kicking long passes like that, we're definitely going to improve our performances. Sanchez could play number 10 easy, says Jordan Burbeck. 100%. I think Sanchez showed today he can play that number 10 position comfortably. I would think, you know, if Lingard, he's so two-footed and he's so quick and he's so good in tight spaces. I think Sanchez is probably wasted out on the wing. I think number 10 would be his position. I think it really should be. Angel Gomez, if he'd scored that, he was literally on the pitch for 5 minutes, skins the right back, puts it in the side netting. If he'd scored that, my God, it would have been absolutely fantastic. Very, very exciting player. Got 2 assists, is fantastic for us in a season where creativity has been our biggest problem. And I'd agree with that from Cole Thompson. It has been our biggest problem, the creativity. But Sanchez is a creator. Even when he's not got the ball, he's a creator because it's his movement. He's so intelligent. He played a pass in the first half and he was really unhappy with Rashford because it looked like a bad pass to Rashford. But actually, it's because Rashford's not making the run he needs to make. So it makes it look a bad pass from Sanchez, which is why Sanchez had a go at him because he's like, you've got to make that run. I'm knocking it into that space. You've got to make it. So Rashford, you know, but Rashford's learning his game as well. But Sanchez's football mind will be ahead of a lot of our players at the moment. Especially, let's not forget, that was our reserve side today. There's not many clubs in the Premier League who can go to Yeovil Town and put a team out of very experienced players who actually, the vast majority of them, aren't first team players. Romero's an international, nowhere near the first team. Darmian's an international, nowhere near the first team. Lindelof's an international, not in the first team. Rojo's an international, not in the first team. Luke Shaw, not an international, but a very good player, not in the first team. Carrick's not in the first team. Herrera's not in the first team. McTominay's a kid. Rashford's an international. He's not in the first team at the moment. Mata is, and obviously Sanchez will be. So a vast proportion of that team today, very, very experienced, but not first team players. And how many teams can do that? But it sort of explains why the performance maybe wasn't as good as it needed to be in the first half, because I think we looked a bit ring rusty. I haven't been unfair on Herrera. I'm a big fan of Herrera. Second half he was fantastic. First half he was a little bit off, I thought. Anyway, we got fan cams incoming, so make sure that you keep an eye out for those fan cams from Flex, see what the fans have got to say at the ground. Thanks everybody for watching. Got an interesting video coming up for you tomorrow around midday. It's you will enjoy it, and then again tomorrow night. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you smash that like button. Perfect performance from United score-wise. Brilliant debut from Alexis Sanchez, and I can't wait for the Spurs game. I can't wait to see Martial, Pogba joining the party with Sanchez, because I think we are looking like a team now that's going to solve our biggest issue, which is movement of the ball quickly in the final third, directness, and somebody who can unlock it all. And I agree. I think Alexis Sanchez would be the perfect number 10. I really do. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon and enjoy your Friday night. And keep an eye out for those fan cams. Remember to support the channel and watch the fan cams. I'll speak to you all soon.